What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Call Her Creator, powered by Stan. I'm your host, Caitlin Rhodes, also known as Social Marketing Queen over on Instagram. And today we are talking about the biggest mistakes that you're making on Instagram. This is probably why your Instagram profile is not growing. It's why your engagement is down. It's why you're only getting 200 views on your reels and you just can't get out of it. We're going to go through a couple different things that I see people doing that are huge mistakes when it comes to growing your Instagram. So let's get into it. Now, before we really get into it, there's going to be about 4 to 5 mistakes that I see. And when I talk about these mistakes, I'm also going to tell you obviously what you can do instead to make it better. So that's what we're talking about today. I'm Caitlin. If you're new here to the podcast, downloading the podcast is the best thing you can do for me when you are listening. This will let me know that you liked the episode, that we can keep recording these episodes for you guys and keep this podcast going. I personally love doing this. This has really brought my inner fire back out by talking to you guys every week and just teaching y'all things that I know about Instagram, things that have helped me make money utilizing Instagram, and things that you guys can do to truly make money doing what you love utilizing social media marketing. So I always like to start our episodes out with an update of the week, and this one comes from Social Media Today, which is one of my favorite blogs. Instagram is working on a new memes option for their reels. So I want you to close your eyes right now and envision CapCut. That is basically what's happening over on Instagram. Instagram is giving us a way to take popular memes and edit them into our reels. And I personally love this update because I've been using CapCut for a while, but I definitely use CapCut probably once a week to edit my reels. If you guys have ever seen those reels or those TikToks where there's kind of like a meme and then maybe there's a picture behind them or a video, that is basically what Instagram is bringing to their reels editing application. So I think this is really exciting for a lot of us who don't know how to use CapCut, those of us who don't use TikTok, but you really want to stay on top of these trends. This is going to be a big one for us. Now, I personally think Instagram is copying TikTok and CapCut, but I mean, they have to stay on top of the social media edge out there. Now, while we're talking about this update, I do want y'all to know like a little fun fact. Anytime I use like a CapCut template or something with a meme over my reel, it typically performs really good. So if you've never utilized this before, definitely go do your research, find out what CapCut is, go over to TikTok, go over to Instagram, look at the reels and the TikTok videos that you've seen. And if you see like a meme, like maybe it's Ryan Gosling from the Barbie movie, or there's a lot of them from The Office, I use them on my profile. You can literally go to Social Marketing Queen or Call Her Creator on my Instagrams, and you'll see them kind of sprinkled out throughout my profile. But they suck people in, they're fun, they're trendy, so definitely something to play around with your social media strategy this summer, especially when everything's going to kind of slow down while people are on vacation. Try using this little editing feature and see how it works for your videos. Now, before we get into our main event, the review of the week is from Raylan Sheffield. She is a small business owner in Florida, and she says, as a small business owner, Call Her Creator has quickly become a favorite podcast of mine. Thank you so much. Caitlin gives valuable insight and strategies for leveraging social media platforms to grow your biz. I love how the podcast covers a wide range of topics within the realm of social media for both beginners and seasoned professionals. So yes, I really want people of all stages of their social media marketing journey to listen to this podcast. So if you're listening today, download the episode, download the podcast. Let's get this going. Let's get this podcast in front of more eyes because I love it. I love teaching y'all everything you need to know to be successful on social media. All right, now for the main event. This is why your account is not growing. I'm going to go over some tips and tricks for you that I see creators and entrepreneurs making and what you can do instead to keep that growth up. Now, before we get into all of this, I think I might have said it on last week's episode too. We are getting into the season of the summer slump when it comes to Instagram. You guys have to remember that people are out of school. So, moms are having to watch their children's if they're not in summer camps. People are traveling over the summer. So there's a little bit of less engagement on Instagram during the summer. It just is what it is. This is my 4th year entering summer as a full-time content creator. So truly, like, it wasn't just like, oh, last summer sucked. Like, no, it's been the last 4 years. Every time summer comes, it just, things slow down. Your numbers aren't as great as they typically are. So if that happens to you, don't get discouraged, keep going. And maybe you can take some of these tips that I'm giving you to help improve those analytics. I also, last episode, I gave 5 Instagram tips to improve your analytics. So go back and listen to that episode if you haven't yet. There's some good trends that you can jump on to help you increase engagement and your followings. Okay, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. The number one mistake that I see people make on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, honestly, all social media channels, is that they try to be too salesy. You come across as a used cars salesman instead of providing value and teaching people something that they need to know and becoming a resource for them when it comes to XYZ or a certain product that you have. If your strategy is just so sales focused, you're probably not going to garner a lot of followers. Now, you might see a lot of sales because you're utilizing your sales strategy, you're being salesy with your content, and that's great. We want to make money on there, but I personally believe that there needs to be a good mix between being salesy and showing off your marketing skills, right? We want to be there for people and have a balance of sales content, but also informative, entertaining, engaging content. This is what provides people with real, genuine value, and it encourages people to interact with your content and follow you. So we got to remember, social media is supposed to be social. That means building relationships, engaging with your audience, providing value. So if you're just constantly bombarding followers with a sales pitch, that honestly can make them just feel like they're just a number to you. So rather than feel like just a number, make them feel like a valued member of your community. Teach them valuable information about your service. So let me give you some examples when it comes to your industry and how you can provide value instead of being so salesy. Let's say you're a realtor and you're a realtor creator. Instead of just talking about your listings all the time, why don't you sell your city? Why should people want to move there? What are some local hotspots that you love? Show those off. What's the market like? Can you give me updates on how many homes have sold? Educate me. That's probably the easiest way to explain this to you guys, is you want to educate them and be a learn from me account versus a look at me account all the time. And then another little example, let's say you're a med spa creator or like skincare aesthetics. You could be teaching people how they can keep up with their skin versus just always showing off your favorite products all the time and saying, shop my Like to Know It app. Like, no, don't just shop your Like to Know It app. Why should I buy that product? Why should I buy that serum? What's it going to help with? So you connect there with their problems versus just being over salesy and saying, hey, here's your product. Like, no, you're going to fix my problem, not just sell me a product. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But what I'm trying to say is just don't focus everything on being too salesy. You got to have a good, happy medium of being salesy, but by also providing value. The next mistake I see people making is not becoming a resource hub for your audience. So your social media presence should offer valuable information and insights that can help your audience learn and grow. Whether it's through how-to guides, industry news, tips and tricks, providing educational content, this can all help establish you as an authority versus you just being all about yourself or all about your product. When your followers see you as a go-to source for valuable information, they're more likely to engage with your content, trust your brand, and ultimately become a loyal customer. So let's talk about this for a second. How-to guides. Some of the top performing content that I've ever shared is the hook is something like, for example, how to grow your following in 90 days. That's attainable. That's a goal that people can actually reach, and I'm going to share with them how to step by step. You can do this as a carousel form. You could do this as a reel that explains it to people. Speaking of reels, like if we go back to the rule of 3 that we talk about a lot here on the podcast, if you take that rule of 3 and create 3 videos over this main topic, with that in the back of your mind, you are going to be a resource versus just a sales guy. So when it comes to the rule of 3, there's one where people learn by seeing you do it. There's one where people learn by reading the caption, and then there's one where people learn by reading the text overlay and seeing you do it at the same time. Tip number 3, the biggest mistakes I see on social media and why you're not growing your Instagram account is you're not leaning into FOMO marketing. So what is FOMO marketing? FOMO marketing is the fear of missing out. It's basically where you tap into people's fear that they are going to miss out on something exciting or valuable. You can do this by highlighting limited time offers, exclusive deals, upcoming events. You basically create a sense of urgency that can drive engagement and conversion. So when you do FOMO marketing, there is a little bit of sales strategy included with that because you are trying to push like a service or a product. The best way for me when I'm doing FOMO marketing, there's a few things that I make sure I do. One, I'll start by just sprinkling in what my upcoming offer is going to be. So for example, I just relaunched a growth edition Reels challenge. So I started off by just doing little snippets on my story of like a sneak peek of what the Reels challenge looked like. And I was showing off a little video of me working on it in Canva. And I had used the poll sticker that said, would you be interested in a growth focused Reels challenge? And I had a ton of people, most people said yes, like 99% of people said yes. So that got them a little bit excited. It probably leaned into that fear of missing out because they were like, ooh, I need to get this. She has to share this. I can't miss out when she shares this. So the next step I did was a few days later, I put the countdown sticker, like the timer sticker on my stories and said something like Reels challenge, growth edition, coming soon. Hit this button so that you get alerted when it's live. And a lot of people went and hit that button. Then I shared a reel about it. And this is when it was actually live. And I basically said, hey, you want to grow your account this summer, or do you want to be left in the dust with your growth? Grab my growth edition Reels challenge today so that you can grow your account in 4 weeks. So I kind of had like a time stamp on there, like this is a 4-week growth challenge. You need to get it now before the slow summer season starts. So I was there like creating urgency. I told them they had to get it before summer. I told them how many weeks it would take them to finish the challenge. And then I told them why they should do the challenge to grow their account. So when you are jumping on people's fear, when you're jumping on that fear of missing out, those are the 3 things you need to focus on: the urgency of getting it, why they need to get it now, what will they get out of it, and then kind of walk them through what they need to do for it to work. And that's where I said, finish the 4 weeks of XYZ. So fear of missing out is a good one when it comes to your marketing, especially on Instagram, especially on social media, where we all have, these fancy profile grids and we've all got these fancy services and this fancy lifestyle. At the end of the day, that's what everyone is honestly doing is FOMO. Like they're making people think that they're living this extravagant lifestyle and you can attain it too if you do XYZ. So leaning into that is a good sales marketing strategy / growth strategy for your Instagram account. Now, Abigail Pugh, she's someone I follow on Instagram. She is doing a wonderful job at selling a digital product. She shared a reel yesterday and it said, the biggest mistake you're making with your offer, here's why it's not selling, or something along those lines. And it said, you're only selling the technicalities of your product and not the outcome. And I was like, ooh, that's so good. So what she means by that is think about a product or a service that you've tried to sell and you focus solely on the technical details of what they get from that product, but you don't actually sell what's gonna happen to them when they buy that product. So for example, let's talk about my Reels challenge for a second. If I would have just said, hey, grab this Reels challenge, there's 12 Reels to record, captions to go with it, hook to go with it, prompts to go with it, time duration, like just kind of saying the technical things of that product. Here you go. I'm probably going to have a harder time selling that versus if I say, hey, do you want to grow your account in 4 weeks? Do you want to have some swipe and steal, stop the scroll hooks that get people commenting on your reels, that get people following your reels? Do you want to grow your following in 4 weeks? Like that is something that I want to buy versus, hey, I got this 4-week challenge. Here's 12 reels for you, because people are going to be like, 12 reels? What? I can record my own 12 reels. No, we back it up. So let's break this down for a minute. So after I kind of sold the outcomes, I then took screenshots of my own stats. So I tried and tested this Reels challenge before I put it out there for everybody else. I came up with the hooks. I came up with how long it needs to be, the idea behind it, and then I gave even like specific examples. And then I also took screenshots of my own numbers. So I took screenshots of the accounts I engaged, how big my following got after I did the 4 weeks of the Reels challenge, and I took screenshots from my analytics in my phone. So when you head over to my sales page, I'm actually going to pull it up right now because we need to talk about this. This is probably the best tip of today's podcast episode, is to focus on the outcome versus the technicalities of your offer. So when you land on my landing page in my stand store, if you guys want to see this for yourself, just go to Social Marketing Queen or Call Her Creator on Instagram, and you can click my stand store in my bio. So when you jump to my stand store, you quickly see grow your Instagram in 4 weeks. Hello, it doesn't just say Reels challenge. It says grow your account in 4 weeks, because that is the outcome that people want. So let's say you're a fitness coach and you've got this clean eating guide for the next 30 days. 30-day reset or something like that. Instead of just selling a 30-day reset, no, I need you to say, hey, clean out your gut and lose that belly fat in 30 days. That's going to really get me to go buy your product versus you just tell me it's a reset, because I might not even know what a reset means. Another mistake people make when it comes to selling their technicalities over the outcome of what their offer actually offers is that they use industry jargon that people don't understand. So again, if you're the fitness coach and you're talking about a reset, I don't know what a reset is. So that's where you need to dumb it down and sell me my outcome. I'm going to lose belly fat and clean out my gut in 30 days. So back to my landing page. Grow your Instagram in 4 short weeks using this challenge. Then it says Reels challenge. I've garnered over 15 million views and hundreds of thousands of new followers on Instagram using these exact reel prompts. Then I go further. Reels are the top method for rapid growth. I've created this 4-week Reels challenge so that I can turn you into a complete beginner to a pro. And then it says what you'll get. 4-week growth-focused Reels challenge. Receive 4 weeks of specific growth-focused Reels prompts and watch your Instagram page explode. You'll get specific instructions, viral hooks, suggested time duration, and specific examples so there's no guessing. Tell me that's not a really good sales page, because I think that is a very amazing sales page. It even goes into other things that come with the Reels challenge. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you'll get when you buy the Reels challenge. But what I'm trying to explain to you guys is I could be super simple and generic here and just say, hey, grab this Reels challenge. There's 12 prompts for you to use. You can steal my hooks for your titles of your Reels. That is boring. That does not work. You have to sell these people on the outcome and the value that you are going to provide to them. Now, after I go through and talk about what exactly they're getting in this Reels challenge and how it will help them, I then say results, ? Oh yeah, ... And I have a screenshot from my analytics from the last 4 weeks that says how many new followers I got, how many followers that were already following me engaged with my content. It talks about my impressions, my engagement. It shows off the proof that this does work. So not only am I showing them what they're going to get from this challenge, I'm showing them proof that it works, and then I am selling them the outcome. This is what works when it comes to going from someone that maybe sells 5 products a month to selling out your product in a month. You have to lean in on the outcome, not the technicalities of your offer or product. People want to know how your product or service will improve their lives or solve their problems. So at the end of the day, that's what you need to focus on. Instead of just listing the specifications, paint a vivid picture for them, which my sales page does, of the positive impact that your offering is going to have on their life. Share success stories, testimonials, maybe real life applications to illustrate the benefits and make your product look more relatable and desirable. And that's where I put the screenshot in of my actual results. That is probably the best tip that you're going to learn from me today. All right, I've got 2 more tips to talk to you guys about when it comes to mistakes on Instagram and your social media marketing, and probably why your profile is not growing. So the next tip I have is you are just so focused on posting that you are ignoring your audience. You're not commenting back. you're not answering DMs, you're not sending DMs, you're not giving any engagement to other accounts. This is very important that you guys listen to me during this little segment right here. Engagement is key to growth when it comes to Instagram. It is probably one of the top reasons why a lot of our clients, if they're ever complaining like, oh, I'm not growing fast enough, it's typically because they're not putting any work into their engagement. Now, we personally will spend 15 minutes or so a day logging into their account, liking people's content, responding to comments, responding to DMs. We'll go look at some stories and send emojis back to those stories. We might comment something genuine. And then we even go to the explore page and comment on some content that really speaks to us as their brand advocate. So spending time on the app and doing this is something that contributes to your overall growth. If the algorithm sees you spending more time on their app, I promise you they're going to promote you more to other people, as long as you're being nice and genuine. Like if you're out there just trolling people and leaving mean comments and getting flagged by Instagram, obviously they're not going to promote your content. But if you're out there leaving genuine comments, replying to people, and really just engaging and building that community, Instagram will give you that love back and promote your content to other people on the explore page. So do not sleep on your comments and your messages and your engagement strategy. That also is another thing I talked about. I think it was either episode 1 or 2. If you haven't listened to those for Call Her Creator, please go back because they're really, really good. And I kind of go over our exact engagement strategy because I truly feel like engagement is a big piece of the pie when it comes to growing your social account. Now, the last tip I have for you guys when it comes to growing is there are people out there, one of the biggest mistakes, that's what we're talking about, biggest mistakes, not tips, is that people don't utilize call to actions. They will post, but there's really no point to their post. There's no call to action. There's nothing that tells me what to do next. You're not pushing me to go get something at your link in bio. You're not telling me to comment a keyword and then DMing me something. You just post something and then it just sits there and there's nothing. So really leaning in on your call to action is going to change the game when it comes to your account as well. A huge mistake people make is just ignoring them. So what I want y'all to think here too is I'm not just saying to be salesy and tell them, hey, buy my product today or buy my offer today or download my digital offer today. No, like engagement could be as simple as, I need your help, guys. Hey guys, here's 3 headshots that I just got back from my photographer. Which one do you like the best? Swipe through. And then you have 3 screenshots of your face, your photo shoot, and you're telling them to pick their favorite one by commenting the word 1, 2, or 3 for the picture. That could be a headshot. That could be photos of behind the scenes of what you're doing. That could be product photos. That could be photos of your workspace, whatever it is. Maybe you don't want to show off your face, but you still want to tie in your business somehow. That's an engagement post right there, is like getting people's feedback on that. You can also do like a game. I love doing the 2 truths and a lie game. What you'll do is it's like an introduction post where you talk about yourself or your business, and then you can say, here's 2 truths and a lie. And so you'll put 2 truths about your business and 1 lie, and then you ask them to comment at the end and let you know which one is the lie. That's being engaging. That's having a call to action. So don't just think that when people say you need a call to action, that means you have to put in there somewhere to go to your link in bio or visit your website. That's not always what a call to action is. It really is just telling people what to do next. And a lot of people make that mistake of not including that in their content. Now, if you do have like a sale going on, or you're wanting to push a product, or you're wanting to promote something for the week, your call to actions definitely can be centered around grabbing your product. But say you're just throughout the week, you're just trying to get your engagement up, focus on ways to get people to comment or share your content versus just posting and not having anything to say or not telling them what to do next. Really helps people understand what to do next, and it helps them engage with you. All right, so just to recap, we've went over some of the top mistakes that people make on social. The first one was being too salesy. Sell, sell, sell. That's all you're focused on. You're more of a look at me than a learn from me. All you care about is sales. Blah, don't do that. Add value to people's lives. 2, not becoming a resource hub for your audience. You want people to follow your account. So how do you get them to follow you? You make them think you're their resource for XYZ. I want to be the go-to social media marketer when it comes to my audience needing someone to ask questions to or get answers from. That's where you need to put yourself when it comes to your profile. What resource hub are you going to be there for? Like, what are you trying to help them out with? Your account needs to be that resource. Tip number 3, not leaning into FOMO marketing, making people feel like there's no urgency to buy your product. There's no urgency to follow you. There's no reason to interact with you. Give them a reason. Give them FOMO. Tip number 4, selling only technicalities of your product and not the outcome. You don't want to just be too technical with people. You really want to sell to them why they should get your offer. Tip number 5 was your engagement strategy. Make sure you are commenting, liking people's stuff. Don't ignore people, because it will come back to haunt you. Instagram sees that. Instagram says, this little girl wants to grow her account, but she doesn't want to engage with anybody. I'm not going to promote her content either. Boom. Stop making that mistake. And then the last tip was not having a straightforward call to action so your audience knows what to do next. That is probably the biggest mistake that I see making. I know I've said this for all of them. At the end of the day, I've read all these mistakes. I'm like, oh my God, this is the biggest mistake. But these really are true mistakes that people make. They don't realize it. But if you can flip it around and utilize the tips that I gave you to do instead, I promise you, you will see some good things happening to your account. You'll start seeing better engagement. You'll start seeing the followers come in. You'll start seeing your views go up. You have to focus on your audience and not just yourself. So I hope this was a helpful episode for you guys. I know sometimes I can get on a tangent when we talk about one thing and then I'll talk about it forever. So I hope I broke this up easily for you so that you could understand it. Thank y'all so much for coming today, listening to me. Download this podcast episode. Please leave me a review and go follow me over on the gram. I'll talk to y'all soon.